Hello, my name is Cedric Shy, and I'm going to be giving you a tutorial on making community engagement and marketing easier through AI technology. So to begin, is there even a problem with community engagement? Is there a problem with marketing? I've worked in an urban planning firm for about a year now, and I've been able to see when it comes to community engagement and when it comes to marketing, the small tedious tasks tends to build up. And for community engagement, it takes a lot of manpower to do it effectively. So some of the problems that I've shown is, most community engagement methods are really expensive, and they're inefficient, and they're really not that accessible. It's very difficult to have staff on site and have staff to go to and fro different community engagement hotspots. Whenever you're trying to get community engagement from a lot of people, large portions of the population sometimes doesn't even get represented because we just missed them. And the barrier to entry is super high in community engagement. It takes a lot to actually get a good amount of engagement. So that means it has a high barrier. And because you don't get representation of the entire population, feedback is often not representative of the whole community. So your team, your urban planning team, doesn't really have good feedback to create strategies and things for the community. And then another thing that kind of crosses over between community engagement and marketing is that information about local events doesn't get to reach most of its members because we haven't put in the work to do the marketing well. Another problem is that day-to-day tasks tend to just pile up. When you're working and when you're putting together these meeting agendas, it takes a lot of work to actually do the marketing, to posting on social media or creating handouts. All those tasks tend to pile up, and it takes a lot of time to create them, weekly or even daily, depending on how often you're wanting to engage with your community. And to create a visually uniform platform is also difficult, and it typically takes professionals. And to get a professional to do something like that, it's very expensive. I do some work in marketing, and I do some freelancing, and it's a pretty lucrative job, but not anymore, I think, because I think that AI can partner with you and your company to kind of help your day-to-day task better. And also there's a potential to help you to even do community engagement better, which kind of sounds like an oxymoron because it's AI. But once you get to the end of this tutorial, you understand that one, it's not as scary as you think it is. And two, it could actually help you engage with real people better. So like I said, just an overview of the tutorial for today. You'll see that AI programs can help you maximize your time to prepare you to engage with your employees as well as the public. So 3 things I'm going to really focus on in this tutorial is 1, how to use AI to help marketing efforts. 2, how to use AI to help brainstorm meeting agendas. And 3, how to use AI in community engagement. So how AI works. AI for some people can seem very scary and daunting. And when you think about AI, sometimes you think about the world's going to end and we're taking over the world. Robots taking over the world. But actually, it's a little different than you might think. And I think that if we learn a little bit about AI, it becomes a little less scary for us. And also, as you learn about AI, you realize, we've been using AI more than you think. So the way AI works is through a process called learning. So to kind of make this a little more simpler, let's say you want this program to be able to recognize cats. And what you would do is you would show this program thousands of pictures of cats, and each time you show them a cat, you tell the program, this is a cat. So the program or robot, it doesn't magically know what a cat is per se, but it learns the patterns, and it learns the things that make the cat unique, like the ears and the fur and the tail. and it starts to figure out, okay, if I see a picture with pointy ears, fur, and a tail, it's probably a cat. And that process is called machine learning. Um, and machine learning is a crucial part of artificial intelligence. Um, it's kind of like a technique that teaches a computer to recognize things or making decisions by showing it examples and patterns. And basically through learning, it creates what we call neural networks. And many AI systems, they have artificial networks. And they're kind of inspired by the human brain, how us humans can kind of learn things over time. But these networks, they kind of consist of nodes of different processors, so that the program can process data and the program can actually learn from the data. And then there's another part about algorithms that's very complex, that allows for the programs to process data. So to make AI a little bit less scary, AI is just a robot or machine that learns things over time, and as it learns, it gets really good at spitting out solutions and also telling you specifically what things are, or being able to create things like a cat. So now that our hypothetical AI knows what a cat is, our AI can now make a cat if it were to. So, did you know that you've actually been using AI for probably longer than you think? Siri has been around for many, many years. And it's actually an AI robot that an AI program per se, on iPhones. We've all seen Grammarly pop up on our Google Gmail. Grammarly sometimes gives you suggestions. Grammarly is an AI model that understands all of language and how to spell words correctly, so it is able to correct your words for you if you spell them wrong. And more recently, it's created a feature to even finish some of your sentences. It gives you some options of words to say based on how it knows about sentence structures. And Gmail has also done this for a while with the predictive text whenever you're typing an email. Google Translate, I use it anytime I go overseas or anytime I go to a place where there's a new language. It uses AI to kind of help translate one language to another. For me, it's always English because I only know English. And Netflix. Things like Netflix and Instagram and all that, they use AI technology to learn the shows that you like to watch. And then they kind of spit out predictive or suggested text in movies and such for you to listen to. So these are all ways that AI has already been in our lives. So if you're kind of scared about using AI for marketing and community engagement because it's a little unknown, maybe take a deep breath and realize that you've kind of been using AI in your everyday lives for a while. So just some other ways that AI works. So like I said, not only words, but AI can identify and classify objects and images. AI can understand and process human language. So like I said, like Siri and Alexa and different chat box and different language translation tools. AI can even recognize and interpret spoken language. Speech recognition is used in the Siri assistant softwares. And also recommendation systems, just like Netflix. AI algorithms can analyze your preference and kind of spit out movies or music or content that you would like to listen to. AI also is now being used for self-driving cars. It helps vehicles perceive the road, makes decisions, because it just kind of programs and thinks through different decisions in an instant, and it responds to things that change in the road. It's pretty spectacular. AI is now used for medical image analysis. It's used for disease diagnosis, for drug discovery. It can analyze large data sets to kind of identify predictions, just like we do as humans. It's also used in gaming. It creates kind of like intelligent non-player characters, which are called NPCs. That kind of provides a more realistic atmosphere for the gamers because the program was being trained on people. Also, AI algorithms can analyze patterns. It can analyze financial detections. It can kind of detect unusual activity. I don't know if your phone has ever gotten that if you use your credit card in 2 different countries in one day, which I've done before. And AI will be like, something's wrong with this. And it'll send my phone a pin. And I'll have to make sure that I'm able to use that money at McDonald's because I love McDonald's. So yeah, AI is used for many things. But to start, we're going to look at AI in a marketing program. It's called Canva. Here we are in Canva. And what you want to do once you get into Canva is start by going to your brand. Because right now what we're going to try to do is create a simple brand to be able to give guidelines to the AI model, which is called Magic Studio. So once you get to Canva, you click Brand Kits, because even though AI is going to help you create these things, you still want to use your own colors, your own fonts, and give it your own parameters. So the outputs will be something that you like, not something that a robot just created. So first, you can start by logos. And I have just a random logo downloaded here that I'm going to drag in here. And it's a company I work for called Texas A&M Communities. And what it does is it adds the colors of the logo to the brand if you want to. But I'm actually not going to add these. And then next, once you have your colors, I'm going to start with a classic maroon for Texas A&M. And then a nice cream color, a nice tan color. And then sometimes if I want a little bit of pop, I'll add this yellow. But what you can do to add a new color is click this guy and click whichever color gradient you want, or you can use a hex code. So a quick hack, if you wanted a forest green color, you'll click forest green hex code, and you can just kind of look for the ones you like. I'm just going to copy this hex code just for time being and paste it in. And look, we have a forest green color. So there we go. But I'm actually not going to use that color. Then you want to use your font. You want to get your font set up. So I'm going to have Open Sans for my main font, and I'm going to make it a little bit bigger, like 80. And then my subtitle, I'm actually going to bring it up to Monasterit, and I'm going to make my subtitle just slightly less than 80, so 64. I'm going to make my headings. I'm going to go with kind of this fun dynamo for my headings. Bold, and I'll make my headings a lot bigger as well. So I'll do my headings 64. So you see what I'm doing here. I am creating guidelines for my AI model, and then for the body text, I use Courier, and I'll actually go make it about like 48. So now I've got some font guidelines, I got some colors, I have got a logo, and I'm almost ready to start building out marketing things for Canva. Now, before you build your brand, before you finish your brand, you want to make sure you have a brand voice. So this voice just tells the AI how to communicate with your audience. And I like to be as simple and to the point as possible. So for our voice is fun, it's straight to the point, and it's engaging. So this is going to kind of help the AI put different call outs and things and such on your graphics. So I have fun, straight to the point, and engaging. Save. And now we're done with our brand. All right. So you've got your brand guide saved. And if you look at it, you'll see it right here. And I called it TAMU for Texas A&M University. You can go back home, and now you're ready to use Magic Studio. Magic Studio is where Canva and AI comes together. And what this AI model is going to do is it's just going to create simple designs for Instagram and Facebook for us to post. So first, you want to go to Magic Design and try Magic Design. Okay, but before we start building this Magic Studio, we need to learn about something that's also important in AI, and that is prompting. Prompting is the commands we give AI to be able to spit out the outputs that we want. So when you're using prompting in Canva, specifically in Canva, it is important to specify the task that is needed and the context that is around the task. Otherwise, your graphics won't have any context. So it kind of depends on what the context is. So I have two very simple prompts for my AI. And one of them says, create an Instagram post for a planning and zoning meeting on April 3rd, 2024. So I have my task, which is create an Instagram post, which is a square. And then I have my context, which is the planning and zoning meeting that's on April 4th. So now that I have my specific tasks and specific context, you can see what the graphic will come out. So you click Magic Studio. Now we're back. I already have it set up for us. So I'm going to say create a Instagram post. Let's see what happens. So Magic Studio is generating. It takes a little bit for designs to happen, and boom, there we go. But my colors are not, and my fonts are not what I said them to create. I have all these cool posts, but the colors aren't right, and that's because you haven't switched your brand yet. So once you scroll all the way over, you'll click your TAMU brand, see results, and now I have the correct brand that I need for my post. And what you do now is just kind of click your favorite. So let's say I really like this one. And you'll click customize the template. So once you have the template, once you have it, you can actually customize it in any way you'd like. And let's see how the AI did. So it's got our colors. It's got a correct font that we added, which was Dynamo. It has a little quote for us. It says, join us for the planning and zoning meeting happening on 4/34/26 at 6 p.m. Don't miss out. So it even gave us a little bit of a call out in commands. If you like to switch the picture out, you can click the picture there always. Go to uploads, and let's say I want a different city on there, and boom, you can put a different city there. I mean, it's very simple. It's very easy to use. And what you can do next is click download. And depending on what kind of file you want, PNG is pretty much the best file to use whenever you're posting things for Instagram. It downloads in a few seconds. And voila, join us for the planning and zoning meeting happening on 4/3/24 at 6 p.m. Don't miss out. So that is a very simple way to create a graphic. It took me about, once I did the back work, it'll take you about maybe 1 to 2 minutes to be able to create it. If you want it to, like, this one doesn't have a typical place. It doesn't have like where it is. So you can also go back into your document and say at town center. And there you go. Now I even have a specific place that community can know. You can post it. It took no work at all. So next, I'm going to show you another one, and I just copied it. And instead of creating an Instagram post for a planning and zoning meeting, I asked for it to create an Instagram story, which should populate as more of a rectangular graphic than a square graphic. So let's see what my magic design does. And boom, there you have it. We now have rectangular story graphics to also add to our planning and zoning meeting. And like I said, if you don't like the array that is given, you can just simply click refresh, and AI will spit out you some new models. So let's take a look at these and see how we can edit them around. So sometimes the brand resets itself, so you have to go back and click your brand again to see results. So like I said, that is probably the most tedious thing you ever have to do, is just keep making sure that your correct brand is on. I really like this guy. So customize it. Fully customizable, fully editable. I really like this, but I just want to make this a little bit bigger. And you see how simple it is. This one even added some It says make your voice heard on 4:23 at 7 p.m. and help shape the future of your community. And like I said, you can put any picture you want on this guy. Let's put the city again, and you just drag it right on in there, and boom. You have another story graphic now with your colors and your graphics, and everything looks perfect. Thank you, AI. This will make your everyday life a little bit easier. If your boss or someone wants you to make more posts on Instagram or social media to engage with the community, you can give your AI parameters and spit out story posts and just normal Instagram and Facebook posts that can add a little bit of creativity and color to your already created and your already inputted parameters. So just in that short time, you can see how AI marketing in posts has already produced productivity. It's already has the capability to further your own design guidelines, and it also has the ability to help form new ideas. So AI isn't just a tool to replace work or to replace a job, but furthermore, it's a tool to help boost and help further your own design lines and help actually further make you become a more productive worker in the workplace. So next, we're going to look at AI in presentations, because I believe that sometimes you have Zoom meetings back to back. You've got so many presentations and so many meetings to lead, and sometimes you just need a little bit of help to put together some simple presentations to follow on your Zoom meetings online. So not only does AI in Canva make designs, it also makes presentations. So for the sake of Canva in presentations, you follow the same guidelines. When you click it, it actually shows you up to a page that looks like this. And like I said, I put write a presentation for a team meeting. Those are specific parameters I gave. Not super specific, a little bit more generalized, and we're waiting for our Magic Studio. So let's make sure that our brand is correct, as always, and see results. So you can see all. It actually gives you a few kinds of. So I'm just going to click the first one, and I'll apply all 7 pages. And like I said, this doesn't do everything for you, but it helps you kind of get some of your thoughts and ideas. So it already has a team, a meeting, and agenda. Maybe you're doing a business update, so it just kind of automatically put this guy in there. Maybe you want to talk about growth and collaboration, so it kind of has a section on growth. Maybe you want to do an update on your just where your team is. Maybe you want to give ideas and ways to improve communication, and even throw a Helen Keller quote in there. So like I said, it kind of helps you just get started on these things. Here's a different one, and you can kind of look through the ones, and so you make sure to apply all 7 pages before you look at them. And there's your new agenda. And like I said, you can edit any of these pictures out. You can take out quotes if you want to, but I just think this is a very easy way to kind of get you started in putting together all these presentations, especially if you're in a pinch midweek. Check out this one. This one actually even has a zoom kind of. So maybe you want to talk about your goals. So yeah, this is a great way to get started on presentations. So I also have a different one. I also have a write a presentation for a team meeting, for a planning and zoning meeting, because maybe you want to do another Zoom meeting, or maybe you need to create a presentation for planning and zoning. And so let's see how AI does with this one. Like I said, the longest thing that it takes is for it to load, which takes about maybe 15 seconds. And as you can see, we've got our same brand on here. So let's click this guy and apply all pages. Planning and zoning meeting, creating better communities together. So that you see how it's still using our voice that we gave it, short, to the point, and engaging. So maybe we have some rezoning things. So it even knows just the jargon around planning and zoning that kind of, like I said, just help you get started and help you be a little bit more efficient if you have 2 zoning proposals, maybe you'll have 3 zoning proposals. You can easily, or maybe you have 4. You can copy and paste it and move it around and make sure this guy's centered over this guy's centered. And like I said, this is so simple. We've just made 2, 4 in a matter of seconds. So you can see how easy it is to edit and to maneuver. So look, now we have 4 zoning proposals. Maybe you have 4. Maybe you got some photos that you want to show to your sites. Maybe you got some new ideas to explore. And another quote on it, because quotes are great and quotes are engaging. So as you can see, if you give it specific text, if you give it your specific task and your specific context, you can actually create presentations from just about anything. If you want to do team building, if you want to do a constructive criticism, if you're actually having maybe a meeting where you kind of need to call out your staff in ways, you can also do that. And I'm actually going to show you that on creating meeting agendas, which is next, which is creating meeting agendas. So to start, is there even a problem with meeting management? Is there a problem with creating meeting agendas? I have been in many meetings where I saw that my bosses, or even me myself, was just a little bit sporadic. And I think when you don't have an agenda for a meeting, it can actually do a lot more harm than good. So a meeting agendas can sometimes be tedious to create because, like I said, we have busy days with busy jobs, and it can be tedious to do over and over and over again. There's some difficulties with just being organized sometimes with people, and sometimes even the recap of meetings can get lost because you don't have documentation beforehand to be able to follow, for people to be able to follow. So I want to show you ChatGPT, Claude, and CoPilot, which are 3 different AI mechanisms, and I'm going to give them a prompt to see what the meeting agendas look like. So first, like I said, this is for urban planners specifically, so I'm going to show you my prompt here. And like I said, prompting is very important. When we're with Canva, prompts are very simple, but once we get to this creating generative text, there's a few more parameters, a few more things to think about when creating a good prompt. So that my prompt says, I am an urban planner for the city of Bryan, and I am meeting with my team about our staff culture. We need to do better next month. Creating a meeting agenda template for me to follow. My meeting will be 1 hour. So, for the prompting help, some things that you need. First, and the most importantly, you need tasks. A task is the most important thing for your AI to have, because if you don't have a task, then your AI won't actually know what to do. So, my task is to create a meeting agenda. Second most important thing you need to do is context. Context allows your AI to begin to bring in the parameters to create exactly what you want. So as you can see, I have my context highlighted in yellow, and my context is that I'm an urban planner for the city of Bryan, and I'm meeting with my team about our staff culture. And I wanted to specifically add, we need to do better next month. So that's kind of context and specificity. Formatting is, and then next is specificity. So my specificity I have is that my meeting will be 1 hour, because I want that to be a part of the parameters. And then lastly, I want it to be a template, because I want it to be something I can reproduce if I'm ever doing another meeting like this. And I want to be able to input my own things. So I'll X out of this guy. I will copy my prompt. And let's start with ChatGPT. So let's see how ChatGPT does. So as you can see, it took ChatGPT about 5 seconds, and we have a meeting agenda. It has the ability to put my date, time, and location. It's got our welcome at 5 minutes. It's got, hey, briefly greet everyone, thank you for attending, introduce the purpose of the meeting, and discuss to improve staff culture with the urban planning department. So it kind of gives you even some things to say. It says maybe first you should start off by reviewing staff culture for about 10 minutes. Then for the next 15 minutes, maybe talk about some of the issues that you saw. After that, for 20 minutes, let's spend more time thinking about improvements than issues. And now, goal setting for about 10 minutes, feedbacks and questions for 5 minutes, closing remarks for 5 minutes. So let's copy this guy and let's paste it and see how it formats. And it formats decently well. If you add up the time, that's 30 minutes. So ChatGPT actually gave you an hour and 10-minute meeting instead of 1 hour. So that's one thing to note, that ChatGPT gave you just a little bit longer than an hour. So maybe you can re-specify the parameters that are needed. Now let's try Claude next. So we'll take our same and let's see what Claude makes. Very simple, but actually a lot different. Once again, Claude has date, time, location, as always, attendees, which ChatGPT did not have. It also has meeting objective at the top. So we're going to do this. So let's look at the agenda. Let's see how they did on time. Agenda, 5 minutes welcoming. 15 minutes. So we're at 20 minutes now. Current state. So this is kind of when you talk about your issues. 10 minutes. So we're now at 30. We're at 50 minutes here. We're at an hour and 10, hour and 15, and hour and 20. So now, as you can see, this also went over a little bit on time. So you can adjust the time as needed. But I think Claude created a little bit more simpler and more to the point structure than ChatGPT did. So ChatGPT does have review, it has identify issues, but Claude's voicing is a little different. I think it seems to be a little bit more welcoming. It has a little bit more information than ChatGPT gave you, but like I said, both did give you over 1 hour, even though you specified the meeting needed to be 1 hour. Like I said, 5 is 20 minutes, 30 minutes, it's 50 minutes, 55, and that's an hour and 10. So both gave you an hour and 10 minutes instead of an hour. But also what I like about Claude, it kind of gives you a little bit of a quick, hey, remember to do this. Remember to modify this as well. So like I said, if you're creating meeting agendas, if you need something quick and fast just so you can kind of get your thoughts together, this is great. So let's try the last one, which is CoPilot. And as CoPilot creates it, we'll see what it is. So certainly, here's a concise 1 hour meeting agenda template. So let's see how Microsoft Copilot did. First and foremost, it has date, time, duration, location. So date, time, duration, location, all the good things. It doesn't have as good of as a attendee. It doesn't have attendees, kind of how Claude did. And it also doesn't have meeting objectives at the top. So there's your two negatives, but let's see how it did on time. 15 minutes. We have 30 minutes here. Then we have 40, 45 minutes, 50, 55. And even left you 5 minutes to grow. So it got under the hour, 5 in the top. So yeah, we got 1 hour perfectly. Welcome and introduction. It's got introduce yourself, set a positive tone for the meeting. So it gives you even some parameters as well. Review previous action items. And then jumping into the, hey, here's our staff culture assessment. But here's some ways. Maybe spend 10 minutes on talking about ways and opportunities that can grow. And maybe spend 15 more minutes giving your own ideas of how to grow the team. I think this is awesome. Copy this guy, and we can paste it into our doc. Now, what I do like about CoPilot is the way that it's structured is a little bit more easier. It automatically bullet points everything, unlike unlike ChatGPT and Claude, which has a very similar kind of feel. Claude, I think, has the most kind of confusing look. I would say second is ChatGPT, but for sure the best outline that you get is CoPilot, which is from Microsoft. And like I said, it gives you action items, and it also gets you in that 1 hour mark. When you're looking at ChatGPT and Claude, you have to kind of double check the timing, because you might go over it. But like I said, as we go back to our presentation, we've got this very specific prompt. So whenever you're needing to make a meeting agenda, think about the prompt you need. Think about your specificity. Think about your tasks. Think about your context, and think about what format you want your context to be. So I even created a new prompt just for you to look. We're not going to go through all three, but I want to see you just a different way this prompt could be used for a meeting agenda. So this one says, I'm an urban planner for the city of Bryan. I'm leading a meeting with my team about our new staff policy. And I want to say, separate from the new policy, I need to talk for 15 minutes about how many employees have been taking long lunches. Creating a meeting agenda template for me to follow. My meeting will be 1.5 hours long. So I have my meeting to be a little bit longer. I have my tasks, creating a meeting agenda. My specificity is that I need to add this extra 15 minutes about how employees have been taking long lunches. In my context, once again, I'm a planner and I lead. And let's just use our favorite one, and let's see what CoPilot creates. And here we go. So we have our new and improved staff policy and lunch break meeting agenda, because sometimes our staff members takes too long of lunches. So welcome, 5 minutes. Let's see how they did on time. See, we got an hour and a half, 15 minutes. And we have 35 minutes here. 35 minutes plus 15. That's 50 minutes. That's 1 hour. We're at 1 hour. 30 minutes here. An hour and 40, an hour and 45. So our meeting minutes kind of went over. So like I said, not all of the AI models are perfect, but I still think this is a great agenda template for you to follow. So let's kind of look more into it. So it's a welcome introduction, review the past, previous action items. So maybe you kind of always want to discuss what you did before, and talk about the new staff policy for 20 minutes. And then you talk about the lunch breaks. Hey, this is kind of what lunch breaks are like. This is how lunch breaks happens, and this is kind of what's been happening at our team. And then it kind of gives you a way to implement the lunch break thing. So it says maybe get given an engagement strategy, and then maybe discuss the rollout of the new strategy, and maybe even have people come in and share your thoughts and give closing remarks. So I think these are awesome action steps to just get started on creating a meeting agenda. And it's a great and simple agenda for people to follow. So thanks, AI. Hopefully this is a very helpful tool for you to use. Hope you kind of understand a little bit more about prompting, and we're going to continue to talk a little bit more about community engagement. So lastly, I'm going to tell you about this incredible, very powerful AI tool and company called Hello Lamppost. Hello Lamppost was actually created in the UA, and it is a way that your city can buy this, and it creates very meaningful and value-driven data, because it takes data from people that walk around your city. It helps leaders understand communities, and it really meets people where they are because of the way that it is designed. So basically, kind of how to do it if your company were to hire Hello Lamppost, or not company, but I'm sorry, but if your city were to hire Hello Lamppost to do community engagement through AI in your city, you would kind of select some everyday objects that are in hubs of many different types of people, and you'll put stickers like this on them. So like I said, you install these stickers and QR codes and NFC tags, or just unique phone numbers in a visible and public, on visible and public structures. And basically after that, you kind of can promote your awareness for it, maybe by making posts and flyers and stories, and kind of just like how I taught you earlier, how to use AI to make marketing tools. Then you just encourage your community to engage in it. You encourage your community to scan the QR codes, and basically what happens is it immediately sends you to an internet, and you can immediately start chatting with this quote unquote lamppost or street light or stop sign, and it'll maybe prompt you to saying like, hey, what do you see around here? What would you like in this area? How is the traffic like in this area? I mean, you can train those AI stickers and the AI for your community to kind of say whatever you'd like. Also, if you were to get AI in Hello Lamppost and integrate it for your city, it's fluent in all languages. So once you scan that guy and start texting in your language, it'll immediately respond back because it's AI. So basically, you can get tons of feedback, tons of stories, and tons of suggestion for improvement. And as a planner, you can use, you can use so much of that feedback to create better standards, to create better guidelines, to better understand your community, to identify like the popular things that your community wants to talk about. You can use it better to collaborate with stakeholders, with local leaders and businesses and governments to say, hey, this is what the people are saying. And you can honestly use it to make just better informed decisions as a community leader. So there was a city in Arizona called Mesa, and basically they deployed Hello Mesa to celebrate the arts and culture scene in their city. They wanted to promote creative opportunities for the community. So what they decided to do was they wanted to kind of have a public consultation. They wanted to find out citizens' attitudes towards art, and they want to encourage residents to support and celebrate the local and creative industry. So as you can see on this picture, they said, hey, I am a bench, talk to me and ask me questions. And what they found was they ended up having, in a month span, 2,400 conversations, over 1,000 users by one, and 7,000 interactions with the bench. They received detailed responses. The local decision makers became a lot more informed, and they were able to kind of figure out where to put money when they're trying to improve the art center. So yeah, this is just one very, very new way that AI is becoming integrated into real life community engagement. So if you're looking at your pricing, this is where it gets a little bit more difficult. So basically, if you look at pounds, which these are in pounds converted to the US dollar, it's 1 to 1.5. So I did a quick calculation, 9,900 times 1.5 is 14,850. So even for this guy for this year, for the flashlight, which is 40 objects at basic level with one theme for the year, is $14,000. So as you can see, it's a little bit pricey. It can get pretty pricey as you get to multiple objects and multiple themes, and that is one of the biggest downsides to something like this, where this is the only company that's kind of doing this right now, that is training AIs with your specific city's data for people. So there you have it. You've got Hello Lamppost, you've got Canva, you've got AI, ChatGPT, Claude, and CoPilot. They're all different tools you can use to become a better planner, to boost your productivity, to engage with people better. The power of AI is here. It is not scary. And honestly, you can use it to enhance who you are and not for it to just recreate a whole new thing. But it can actually enhance your own people, your own community, and your own work. Thanks.